Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com, with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic AT. For today's episode, I'm all on my own. In this regular video series, I round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, me? It's the Full Force Weekly, later than scheduled and with just me this time. Sorry about that, guys. It was we had some technical issues today, unfortunately. So no Pat today. That's not his fault, by the way. He was absolutely ready to rock and roll this very morning. My thoughts was to actually do this tomorrow morning, but then tomorrow's going to get busy. So I basically wanted to make sure that I got this episode out this week in some way, shape or form. So here we are. Better late than never. Maybe. I don't know. You might be thinking the opposite. You might just be like, just don't bother, mate. But anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope this doesn't affect things too much for you. I mean, you can always watch after the fact. It's no biggie, I guess. We are doing the weekly. Well, I am doing the weekly with you guys solo for this one. So lots to get through. Tons of news, believe it or not. We have kind of like unofficial news. We have official things dropping. We have statues. We have music. We have O-ring figures. We have a review of a classified figure that's coming soon. We've got all sorts of cool stuff to get into this week. So let's get on with it, shall we? I don't know what I'm waiting for. Let's just do it. What are you waiting for? Do it. Jamie Lynn says, Chris, I've been sitting here on the couch waiting for this to start for about 10 hours. Could you imagine? My apologies if that was the case. But yeah. Oh, I'm really sorry about that, Chris G. You have our condolences, mate. Very, very sad to hear about your grandmother. That's really sad. I'm sorry, Chris. But at least you get to watch the episode now, and I guess. But that's such a shame. And you have, like I said, you have our condolences. Pass says, let's be honest, Chris just wanted to watch the draft uninterrupted today. I couldn't give 2/3 of an arse about that, Pass. Right then, let's get stuck into Fans Hobby first. Now, they dropped a couple of posts this week, or late this week, regarding their VE02, which is that kind of like cool kind of fang, but not fang, with a Skyhawk body that's had proportion changes and now is, showing us what it looks like with a canopy too. So the first images came out in its kind of full glory, full regalia, in that Shadow Operations deco. We have seen it in that black and red before. Of course, we had that last week. I think it was the proportion update. So we had it in black and red at that point. But here we see it in its kind of like in all its glory, basically. Lots of different angles with lights as well. We've got green, we've got red, we've got like front and rear lights as well, which is pretty cool. Something that wasn't very clear, I think, on the first image that we looked at. I think this is looking pretty cool. I will say, especially from this angle, it really does show that odd width proportion that the previous Fang doesn't really have, of course, because obviously it's using that Skyhawk kind of faux hawk sort of cockpit body, and that obviously does throw it off a little bit. And I think one of the reasons is probably due to the fact that obviously they did get a C&D, the first Skyhawk, the Skyhawk-like figure vehicle they did. And I wonder if that had a lot to do with how they approached this particular vehicle. But that does feel like that has been the case with this one. And I think from this angle, it does sort of look a little bit weird to me, even more so when we see the canopy on it. From some of the other shots, though, it kind of has like a cool shape, like the silhouette from the side is very cool. This kind of angle looks fine. I think it's a very definitely a very cool vehicle. But again, at the end of the day, when you have that width, I mean, it's nothing that we haven't already talked about already. I thought the deco might hide some of that. Where, you know how like we were looking at like that grey models of the faux Hawk, the VE01 for the longest time, and I definitely changed my mind at how cool it looked when I saw the full deco and all the green on it and everything. I thought it looked phenomenal. I thought a similar thing would happen here. I thought like the additional deco would sort of kind of win me over a little bit, and it has to some degree, but I still can't get over the proportions bit. Michael says the proportions are weird. The tail is too narrow and short, and the engine manifold seems tiny. Well, they have extended the tail, so in terms like still narrow, obviously, Michael, but in terms of the length, it's definitely elongated now. Chris G says the canopy tells me OSHA stepped in on Cobra. Yeah, very likely. This is what I'm talking about, that side profile. I think it looks really cool from the side. It's just the fact that obviously, yeah, when you start looking around, spinning around and looking at the front and the kind of oblique shots and everything, it does kind of like throw me off a little bit. It's like an unfinished vehicle. Even with the canopy on, it doesn't quite look right to me. But there's plenty going on. Obviously, it's a very cool. The Air Eagle's very cool. What they're basing this particular canopy section on. It looks dope, and the lights look really cool too. I've got to admit, I think the lights look great. Paisano says he's passing. I got the Air Eagle, and I'm going to get the faux striker, but not this. Totally fine, and I kind of feel you on that. I feel like the Air Eagle's really like spot on. It's really cool, and especially some of those promo images we saw very recent, a couple of weeks ago. I think that Air Eagle looks like top notch, and I kind of like some of the updates they've done on it. Weirdly enough, I kind of like that you've got that kind of weird wing section that has the kind of side panels attached to it, and how they had to change things around a little bit. I'm kind of like, I quite like that, and I know you can kind of reconfigure it to kind of make a sort of vintage style looking Skyhawk. But that said, it looked phenomenal. This one isn't hitting me as much. The Ore Striker they're doing, the VE03, that's pretty cool too, actually. But more from the case of it's just nothing. It is a little bit like the Ore Striker, but it's not really like the Ore Striker. It's more like the inspiration for the Ore Striker, the Chenowth, and I kind of like the thought of them doing a Chenowth vehicle for that particular scale. And I think that's definitely one that, you know, if I could, I'd probably get the Chenowth, I'd probably get Gridiron's Hounds, and I'd probably get and I would almost certainly get the Hasbro classified one when it comes out. So, you know, if that was on the table, I would 100% do that. But some, like, obviously lots of things come into play here. One of them is money and cost, which we'll talk about in a little while when we talk about Gridiron stuff, and this as well. You know, that's going to add up pretty quick, and especially when you look at the amount of different hound options you've got for Gridiron. So it's going to be one Chenowth from Fans Hobby, the classified Ore Striker, and then you've got Arctic, Desert, Shadow Ops, and regular Jungle Hound. That is six Ore Strikers to choose from, sort of. I know some of them aren't necessary. You know, you can kind of like do them up to like a sort of semi snowcat, and you can, like, you know, have all those like double wheels on the back, and you can do all that kind of stuff. But you know, we could be looking at 6 Ore Striker style vehicles for the classified series soon, which blows my mind, honestly. Yeah. So anyway. How much is it? Says Andrew. How much is the Air Eagle, guys? I don't remember. 100 and something? 100, close to 200? I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. Someone let me know. It's probably the same as the Air Eagle, which for some reason the price is escaping me at the moment, Andrew. But someone in the comments hopefully will let us know. They haven't announced the price for this, but I assume they haven't really done anything. They're just showing the development of it at the moment. Paisano says, yeah, that's $1,000+ worth of ore strikers. It is, and it's crazy. Anyway, the light, you can see the lights in the interior as well, which are really cool. I like the lights. I'm a sucker for lights too. Give me lights. Obviously, that's not going to happen at like a retail level for classified vehicles, but certainly from HasLab's point of view, we always get lights, don't we? Dragonfly, his tank. What else have we had? That's it, isn't it? Oh, Rattler. And then whatever comes next, which I'm excited to see. Air Eagle's 90. Thank you, Paisano. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was under $100. Actually, I think you're right. I was so tempted for that Air Eagle. I must admit. Reels in wants the Shadow Hound. Yeah, that is a dope looking vehicle. We'll get to the hounds in a second. And of course, another shot of the kind of in the interior. Then we get a figure in the inside as well. Logan's back. And yeah, you can kind of see there the different kind of things you've got. You've got like a kind of like, yeah, your kind of joystick. You've got like a little kind of weapons kind of joystick to the right as well. Very cool. And here it is with all of the kind of gear that it's going to come with. You've got that kind of like bomb basically that goes on, I guess, on the undercarriage, and the missiles, which 2 apiece on either side of the skids there. And of course the canopy, which is something that the Fang has never had. So that's interesting. This is 1/12 W. Yes, this is a classified scale. And here, this is, again, the canopy. It's cool. We've got a canopy for like a Fang-like helicopter, but it just doesn't look right to me. Sort of has the look of a dinosaur's skull, like a fossil of a dinosaur, like a T-Rex skull or something, that shape. But I guess it looks a bit snake-like, doesn't it? But yeah, I think it just, that with this added bit of canopy, it adds to that thickness, which just looks a little front heavy to me. And yeah, I think it kind of like throws it off a little bit proportion, even more so. Like I can sort of understand that, right, without the canopy. You throw the canopy on and all of a sudden it really bulks it up. And I kind of think, yeah, Michael, yeah, makes the proportions much worse. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's really just that sort of, I mean, again, different angles really show it in slightly different lights. But again, the thickness of the front of that canopy is quite jarring to me. Like it's almost like cut off at the nose, you know, the gun sticks out. Almost looks like it's just been chopped. And it sort of has. It doesn't look as bad there, weirdly, when I'm talking about the front, and it does there. It's odd, isn't it? Yeah, but the back looks better. Like these are like 2 different things, don't, like different angles, but they don't look like the same vehicle. Certainly not the same proportions. Anyway, side shot looks, like I said, it still looks really, really good. I think the side silhouette always looks really, really tight, and even with the canopy, I think it looks kind of cool. But yeah, interesting, isn't it? Weird. These knockoff third-party vehicles never really do it for me, says X Factors. Bryce H says it's different looking for sure. 77T John says looks very dumpy. And Paul, hi Paul, says I'm going to get one of these and repaint it Dreadnought Air Assault colors. The mashup look really feels like a product of a Dreadnought chop shop. Actually, that's a really cool idea. That's a really cool idea, Paul, to get one of these, do it as up as a Dreadnought Air Assault, and yeah, it's kind of got that vibe of they've stolen a Fang, they've also stolen a Skyhawk, they've cut them up and they've stuck them together. It does have that vibe to it, 100%. Another couple of shots I think left to have a look at. Actually, yeah, got quite a few, including a little comparison shot as well. So one at the front there. Again, like I think from different angles it looks really cool, and then from other angles it looks a bit funny. So I don't know. Just yeah, there's not much else really to add on this one. But there you see it alongside the Air Eagle as well. 2 very similar size vehicles for obvious reasons, and yeah, I would expect this to fetch probably, be around about the same price as the Air Eagle. or I don't know if it's obviously going to be affected by the current situation. I'm sure it will be. Until that changes, who knows? Matt says, I wish I could get that Air Eagle. It is out of stock now, is it, Matt? Does look like it was built in a garage. That Dreadnought idea is cool, says Bryce H. I agree with that. Yeah, I think Paul's got a good idea there. Jeremy also agrees with that, Paul. Get in there, do that. Anyway, that is Fans Hobby. I think there's that weird kind of vibe, isn't there, when you're dealing with these kind of situations where you're talking about like a kind of like a knockoff or a third party or a bootleg or whatever you want to call it. I know Pat and I often talk about this. There's that sort of like, I don't know. It's a bit of a moral grey area, isn't it? Let's face it. But even so, seeing some of these things, I do think they look really cool. Like that Air Eagle is phenomenal. Like it's really dope. I don't know how that's affecting a classified version coming out. I don't think it probably would affect it. I think if we're going to get a classified Skyhawk, we'll probably get a classified Skyhawk, whether this exists or not. And I think people would more than likely probably, pay for it and buy it. So anyway, I don't think it's going to affect it in that sort of sense. But yeah, money, Matt. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I get what you mean. I'm the same with you on that one in regards to I look at it and I would really like it. But it's the extra cash, especially when classified are churning out so many items. It gets quite difficult to kind of keep up. Anyway, let's move on, and we'll stay in the unofficial zone. We'll talk next about Gridiron. Yes, Gridiron have been revealing lots of cool stuff. We've got the Desert Earl, we've got the Elite Operator, and Fox module upgrade kits for the Desert Hound. And it's kind of their MO has been like release a Jungle Hound, and then you get all these other things following on from it that kind of add to it, that can build up, add different weapon systems, can change the look of the vehicle completely. In some cases you get like a half track, in some cases all sorts of crazy different things. So I think in this sense we're just getting that kind of pattern emerging, aren't we, with the Desert Hound? And I've got to say, this might, well, I don't know, because I still think I'm in love with the Arctic one, but this one is very cool. And they are literally all the colors of the rainbow at the moment, right? It's nuts. So they revealed they're doing an Elite Operator version 2 G36 combo Desert Elite Squad, which is effectively that little like pack, that gear kind of pack in a briefcase sort of thing that connects to the side of the vehicle, which is very cool. So that's available. The Desert Earl, which is that kind of weapons kind of section on the top, which obviously we first saw, I think, with the Arctic Hound. I want to say we might have seen it before. We might have seen it with the Jungle Hound, but it certainly made more sense in my head when we saw it with the Arctic Hound because of the snowcat connotations. So we got this kind of missile launching kind of rack, which again, this has been something they've done on all of the Hounds so far, I believe. And then, of course, the Fox module, which is actually the special early bird thing, which I think actually finishes very soon. I think that might be like a today or tonight or tomorrow situation. It's not very far away anyway. So anyway, if you want to get involved in the Desert Earl, and you want the Fox module, that is a special early bird scenario going on there. But we can have a look at all of these different things. So here is the Earl, and we've seen this in multiple different configurations already. Very simple system. Missiles fit in there, and it kind of closes and locks in like so, and opens up like this, and has those kind of retractable or like I suppose articulated antennae, which can be kind of like rotated up or down effectively, which is kind of cool. And then here it is. It's funny how much of a personality it gives to the vehicle, almost turns it into Johnny Five a little bit, especially with the antenna sticking back like that. Kind of looks like little like ears, and obviously that kind of like little camera on the front is very cool. And I'm assuming it would be like a, you know, weapons system camera as well, so it could kind of isolate the targets and hit them and all that kind of jazz. Excuse me. It's a very cool little set. And here it is, obviously in use on the top of the Desert Hound. I love how that little elite operators kind of set, that little clip on the side acts as like a little gun kind of emplacement as well. There's some really nice detail and touches to these vehicles and these designs, and they really do knock, like, Gridiron genuinely knock it out of the park, because again, it's not like this is very much their own thing. Yes, it's taking a lot of like inspiration from what's happened with an Ore Striker and so on, but this is definitely its own thing, like the bigger, chunkier wheels, the different sort of like silhouette, different shape. This thing is very different indeed. It has that little back section where someone can sit down. You have all these different kind of aspects that kind of create different vehicles at the end of the day. Like, you could easily buy like 3 or 4 of each of these different versions of excuse me, the Hound, and you could literally make an infinite amount of vehicles out of it. You could have, some would have the half track on the back, some would be the regular vehicle as you have it, some would have the double wheels on the back, some would have different weapon systems. So, you know, you could there's so many different options. It just sort of blows my mind a little bit. And then of course we've got the Fox module, which it can be seen here, and includes like basically that huge back section which connects like to the back of this vehicle, adding those extra wheels. You've got that little extra drop down bit. You've got a little drone in there. I think this one's like it's got the like the flying drone capability and everything. It's very awesome. And just this shot alone sells it for me. Like, so good. And I think, like, I would say, like, in a perfect situation, I would be picking this up, no doubt about it. Like, it's so cool looking. And I don't think it has the same sort of, it doesn't really have the same sort of like uneasy feeling about getting some sort of third party bootleg, knockoff, whatever you want to say. Like, it doesn't have the same connotation really, because of the, like, the difference. Like, it's very different. It's its own thing. Yes, like I said, it takes very much from you know, what has come before, but it's definitely doing its own thing. And that's what I really love about this Gridiron kind of angle, really applying their own sort of like touch on it, making it extraordinarily present and future military. And yeah, it just looks dope. Reminds me of the droid from Jedi Fallen Order. Big time, Jeremy. Big time. It's the eyes every single time. So many cool little options. And obviously that the little flying drone segment can also, those wheels also become wheels. The wheels become the drone propellers, basically, which is really cool. And then, yeah, I'm down for this a lot. It's just really good. And and it's some cracking shots of it as well, all in like its loadout. And I mean, how cool would it be to have all of this gear all locked in, all the figures around it and everything? Oh, it's, man. I'm talking myself into this, aren't I? I am literally wanting, I'm literally wanting this so bad. Hello, GI Jetman. Plastic Battle says Havoc vibes with the drone in the back. Yes, for sure. If only someone could sit inside it, right? You see, that's gonna be the turn. That, for me, that's going to be the moment where I feel like the classified series will have reached its absolute peak and zenith, when it makes the HasLab Havoc. That for me would be okay. We've reached perfection, guys. Because how cool would it be to have a friggin' flying drone that came out the back that a figure could sit in, and have all of like, oh, it would be so cool. But I will say it's a favorite of mine, the Havoc. But I think my ultimate favorite classified vehicle of all time that should happen in a HasLab would be a Tomahawk / Eaglehawk, however you say it. But I think that would be, for me, that would be done, dusted, and covered in mustard, 100%. Anyway, yeah, so that is the wonderful freaking desert hound and all of its cool little accessories and extras, and the Earl and the Fox module, and even with the clips there included, you've got the what's it called? The Elite Operator set as well. The details in their stuff is amazing. I know, Bryce, it really is. Whale, says Bias One. Yes. Jeremy says peak is Whale with the motorbike. I have to agree with that, actually. That would be really cool. But for me, the Whale would be amazing, and I think it's definitely something that, in the future it could possibly happen. I just think, man, I would cry if we got a Tomahawk / Eaglehawk. I would absolutely cry, especially if it was decked out in the way that I dream it to be, having sliding doors on the side, much so you could kind of recreate the Sunbow appearance in the movie when it kind of flies into, I think, pickup roadblock. Basically they pick up a bunch of people out of the Himalayas, don't they, at that point? And then and I think the Whale would be up there, though. I think the Whale would be up there. Anyway, Eric says, for me, it's a HasLab Night Raven. That'd be pretty cool. Eben says Eaglehawk confirmed. I bloody wish. Chris is solo today, Eben. Yes, I am. Let me know in the comments, actually, what your favorite HasLab would be. Just name it. You don't have to you can go into as much detail as you want. You are free to do so. Just let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. I'd like to get an idea of what people's actual dream project would be. And obviously, I think maybe going too far would be like a Technodrome. But again, it's your dream, isn't it, at the end of the day? So just let me have it. Right, let's move on then, while you guys are getting those in the chat. And next up, we'll talk a bit of statue news, yeah? Yeah, let's do that. Yes, Iron Studios have revealed their latest 1/10 scale G.I. Joe Cobra Commander statue, and the pre-order is live. Link in the description right this second. So yes, Iron Studios dropped this Cobra Commander statue kind of out of the blue, although they have been revealing statues. So they've been doing, Flint was the last one, I believe, wasn't it? Which is actually pretty cool, against the wall, where he's getting shot at and everything. So that was a cool reveal. And the funny thing was, they had a list and silhouettes of the upcoming reveals, and it was, I think, Baroness and Destro, and nothing about Cobra Commander. And here we are with this very, very cool statue, I have to add. I think it's very, very awesome. What you're saying in the comments for your favorite HasLabs, we are saying Havoc, Whale, Tomahawk Night Raven, Whale, a Dreadnought vehicle set, Thunder Machine, the big motorcycle, and Ground Assault. That's a pretty cool set, actually, Chris J. I like the sound of that. Real Zim says Tomahawk / Night Raven. GI Jetman says Tomahawk would be your favorite HasLab, or Whale. Paul's got a good one here. He's got two good ones here for me, actually. Warthog, I agree, or Cobra Bug, I triple agree. I know I missed a double out, but there you go. Headquarters, says Eben. A G.I. Joe Headquarters would be amazing. Septic Tank, says Tony. I like the sound of that, actually. It fires actual poo and wee. Jeremy says favorite would be Wolverine with swappable links parts. I like your thinking on that one. Tomahawk says GL, also a Moray, and of course a Terradrome. Moray or Night Raven, says Bryce. I'd probably buy all of them, says RealZim. Modern version of the Mobat and include the HAL with the rest of the OG-13 figure, says Scott. Well, Scott, I'll tell you, I'm going to say it now. If we haven't completed the OG-13 in classified by the end of 2026, I'll be very surprised. I'm just going to say it right there. And then I'd be very surprised if we haven't completed the entire OG-13 by the end of 2026. That's all I'm going to say on that one. If this was hooded, I'd buy it, says Chris G. So we're talking about the statue now. We'll come back to you guys on that one. But it looks like Whale again. Snowcat's another one. So anyway, yes, lots of good options there for HasLabs. Ryan says, whoa, I changed time zones during my travel today, but I didn't realize I changed 10 hours for the morning weekly episode. Nice one. So anyway, Iron Studios have revealed this gorgeous statue. I think it's really cool. I really do. I think that throne is phenomenal. Really nice touch to put him on a throne. Because again, like, you could kind of run out of ideas for some of these statues and their kind of settings. But Cobra Commander on the throne kind of makes sense. It looks good. They've done a really amazing job with it. That snake kind of seat behind him. I'm almost contemplating, right, setting up a studio. Well, I'm going to be setting up a studio eventually in here where I am now. A slightly more kind of like, purposeful studio. And one thing I want to do is, I think having a throne like that would be freaking amazing. So who knows? Maybe that will happen in the future. Maybe I'll make some sort of crazy 1-to-1 scale, like crazy chair, or find something at like a thrift store and try and like do it up. But basically, to have a big snake head behind you would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. And those kind of like spears with like flags folded around, or like banners on them, sort of thing, and then the fire. There's a lot going on here, and I think it's really cool. And we get some nice kind of shots of the actual, like, the close-up of the actual figure itself, the figure, the details of the character on the statue, I should say. And it's an interesting one. Like, the shape of the helmet's slightly different to what we've had so far. Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't really had this sort of shape for Cobra Commander, have we? Like, that helmet is very specifically, like, there's an elongated kind of front to it. There's kind of quite wide at the bottom. It's an interesting look, actually, and I quite like it. The stripe going all the way to the tip of the helmet, which I don't think it does. No, the stripe usually stops, like, it's just like on the top, isn't it, usually? So that's a cool look as well. And then, of course, they've gone very much like Snake Supreme on some of the details, but just not the deco. So I wonder if they might redeco this into, like, a Snake Supreme or a red or something like that. They've only revealed like a few so far, haven't they? So Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Flint, Cobra Commander. We're gonna have Destro and the Baroness soon. So there's gonna be like 5. There's gonna be like 6 out ish, right? Yeah, there's gonna be about 6 of them available soon. So it's not like they should go straight into doing the repaints, but especially with, like, I think it was Diamond Select and some of the other statues, they were churning out some repaints quite early on, weren't they? Like the Prophet Director Destro decos, like the blue and the black Baroness, Snake Eyes in that kind of purple sunbow vibe, as well as the black. So yeah. A HasLab Cobra Missile Command playset, says Ryan's. That sounds amazing. 610 says, hope it's no spoiler, but Revenge of the Sith still ends the same in theaters. Oh, good. Thanks for letting us know. Hey, Chris, we'll have to listen to you later, but I do have to admit the Cobra Commander is beautiful, but the price is a rough one. Well, we'll get to that, won't we? Checkpoint Alpha for sure, but thank you. Yes, it is an expensive. It is a spicy meatball. Is it like, I want to say it's $2,500. No, I'm kidding. It's not that expensive. It's a 200 and something. Is it 299? Yeah, $299.99. These are expensive statues. But I kind of, from looking at what we've seen of them, the details. There's the back, by the way. So you got the back of the snake, or that snake skin on the back of its head, and unbelievable. The 2 cross spears and that banner kind of like detail looks very, very cool indeed. And then, of course, all that detail on the side, the armrests and everything, the snake heads. It's very intricate, very beautifully sculpted. Looks like it's got a very, very nice deco on it as well. I mean, look at the finish on that. Absolutely phenomenal. And again, for something so small on that statue, that is extraordinarily detailed. So you are definitely, you're paying for it, but you're getting some high quality stuff. When you think back to, like, what were they called? Prime One Studio. There was always a studio, isn't it? Do you remember how much they were? They were about $1,000. They were like $700 to $1,000, and they were incredible and huge as well. I mean, they were really about the size and the detail, and I mean, phenomenal things. But it's not surprising. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not a surprise to me that, because these are a lot smaller. There's another detail, of course, and again, looking at that detail, the cracks in the kind of stone, the kind of like the folds on the material on his clothing and everything. It's really nice. There's another good shot of the old glove as well. Oh, the claw. Very nice. And this is what I was getting to. This is only 9.9 inches in height, 10.3 inches wide, and 9.7 inches in depth, and is 1.1 kilograms or 2.4 pounds. So there's some heft to it, but it's not massive. So you're paying really for the details and the deco on this one, aren't you? Let's face it. But I've got to say, I think they've done some beautiful statues so far. That Flint one's amazing. The Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow ones look really good. And then, of course, we'll have Baroness and Destro eventually. And this is coming from someone who isn't really a statue guy. Having said that, I do have a lot of statues, but a lot of those were sent to me, and I appreciate it very much. But in this case, yeah, that is it's a beauty. But again, if you've got $300 you want to churn away, and these kind of things are doing it for you, then get involved, because yeah, they look amazing. Anyway, that's statue news. Doing all right. What are we in, like 37 minutes in? So I've got loads to talk about. Oh well. Let's get into it then, and do the next news story, which is Super 7. I'm having so many brain farts today. Super 7 Reaction Plus Python Patrol BAT is now up on Target's website and is in stock, by the way. Well, in stock, it's available. I think it says add to cart, so go nuts. Link in the description. It went up early this week and I think instantly sold out, or it was one of those things where they hadn't quite finalized the update, the website listing or something. I think that's more likely what it was, but a lot of people were already complaining and angry that it had already sold out. No, it just hadn't been put up properly by the looks of things. But yeah, you can get it now. It's available, and if you don't find it in store, your next best option obviously is on Target's website, and hopefully they don't cancel it like other things have happened in the past for a lot of people. But we also got with the whatever you call it, the pre-order, not pre-order, actual order. It's an in-stock order. We got more promo images, which is really cool. So we get the whole, the kind of figure on white background loadout, the render. This is a render for sure. We also got the front and back of the card, which I think we're all very attuned to now. We've all seen it pretty much. Chucky says links says not available for me. That's interesting. It says add to cart for me. I did put it in the link in the description. Do you want to try that one? It might be an old link that it's drawing old, information from. Curious if anyone has received their crystal ball from Walmart or if most were postponed. I haven't seen anybody receive a crystal ball yet, X Factors. No videos, no pictures, nothing. Not sure what's going on there. Let It Roll 9044 says sold 3 cases in 4 hours at my store. That's crazy. People want this one, don't they? And then if we go into, well, I will say Jeremy, or sorry, not Jeremy, sorry. What am I talking about? I will say Chucky, Tinderbin. In terms of the add to cart, that's what it was before I went live. It might have sold out in that time frame, possibly, but I doubt it. I think it might just be an error on that side of things, because like I said, I've looked at it and it said add to cart. Oh, it must be a regional thing then in that case. Yeah, because it says not available. Interesting. Maybe it's one of those things. Well, why would it be a regional thing? It's online. They'll still be able to distribute it. Anyway, that's odd. That's really odd. Well, I'm going to check it now and just see if I have the same issues. will it be? Yes, it is in here, isn't it? Yeah, that's cool. Probably going to go into Inception right now. It says item is not available now. It was definitely said add to cart before I started. Maybe I've posted the wrong listing, the wrong link. Might be the wrong link. Might be the wrong link. I might have to change that. Thank you for letting me know, Chucky Tinderbin. Do not click on the link in the description. Try it elsewhere. But anyway, we've got more images. What link did I post? Because I'm pretty sure I was looking at it and everything. And when I copied it over, I don't know. It's one of those days, isn't it? It's a technical issues sort of day. Bias One says they, by all accounts, had the wrong date up initially, so the one on Hasbro Pulse likely ended up being the correct one. Walmart likely had the date that was before delays were announced. Oh, for Crystal Ball. Thank you, Bias One. Bummer. Well, anyway, coming back to the Python Patrol BAT, don't bother clicking the link in my description. Try and find it on Target's website because, like I said, it's literally said add to cart when I posted that link earlier before I went live. Because I even checked it first. I even added one to the cart just to see what would happen, and it added it to the cart. Anyway, Python Patrol BAT, more promo images, and they look kind of cool. I've got to admit, I'm very happy that we're into O-ring now, and like the reaction was cute and it was fun, but it just didn't really. I don't know, just didn't really do it for me. Like, whereas I think the O-ring has definitely been a different kettle of fish entirely, including these little buggers. These are my little. They're always by my side now, mainly because all my displays are classified. So it's nice to have a few little figures at hand on my desk. But I really do like what Super 7 are doing with the O-ring figures, and the fact that we've got like new characters. Not new characters, new versions of characters in the in the wave already. We've got like Sunbow color Snake Eyes, which is dope. We've got an Arctic Cobra Commander from the movie, very cool. Cold Slither, Zartan, Fatal Fluffies. I mean, what else have we got? All sort Raymar. It's crazy stuff. I love the fact they're doing it. Yeah, so that's the promo images for the BAT. Have we got any others? I think that's it. There's another one shooting that classic. In fact, if you look at our thumbnail for this episode, which will show up on YouTube and what have you, Brian utilized the image from the comic with the BAT sticking the first appearance of the BAT in the comic, where it's using that rifle out the side of a car, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks Brian for doing that for me. He does all our title cards. Yeah, that's it. Next up then, there's not much else to talk about there other than the link is not working now, even though it said add to cart when I checked it before. So good luck trying to find it online. Might have more luck in store then in that case. Right, next up then, and considering we've got a bit of a considering I've just done a little segue by putting this dude up on the screen. It's not really a segue though, is it? Yeah, Zartan. We've got a bit of Cold Slither to talk about next. Let's see what you guys think about that. Yes, RPM have announced a brand new 80s style banger of a single by Cold Slither called Knock'em Dread. Sorry, I just dropped Zartan as I said that. Yeah, Knock'em Dread. So this was not. Well, obviously, we knew more music was coming. A whole album is coming, so we knew more tracks were going to be kind of appearing from it. But it was kind of fun that we got like another little one of these kind of cutesy videos. I forget who does the videos, but they've been posting about it, and I keep forgetting to make a note of that. So my apologies on that one. But yeah, kind of fun. And again, like utilizing some of the audio from some absolute classics, like Arise Serpento Arise, where Ripper says swiping is CIA when he means DNA. And Zartan talking. I can't remember what Zartan says in this video now. What does he say in this one? I can't remember what can't remember what quote they used for Zartan. There's a few, but again, throwing a few of those in there, which is nice. And yeah, we've got, like I said, we've got a fun little video out of it. Again, homaging Dreadnough's appearances in the comics, in the cartoons, and what have you. And of course, that appearance, that classic appearance of them trashing the Sky Strikers, they kind of delve into that in this video. Here we see Ripper doing some damage, and also saying things about swiping his CIA, which is funny. And of course, you know, you've got like snakes and all sorts of stuff flowing around, and of course Zartan and the Dreadnoughts on their motorcycles. I wonder if Super 7 relaunched the Mothership campaign, if it would fund now that O-Ring is here, says Bryce. It's possible, isn't it? I wonder if it would have a better sort of response. I don't know, actually. That's a good question, though. Probably not right now, actually. I'd probably wait till things sort of leveled out a little bit, if they ever do. Cobra Emperor 6, G.I. Joe O-Ring Collector Delta 17, that's one hell of a name, says, so not fair, we can't buy the bats online, and then the whole Python line will be an exclusive. Yeah, that is a bit of a shame. Did they say they're doing an entire Python line as exclusives? I mean, I know it's like a repaint and everything, so they'll probably, whenever a character comes out that was in the Python Patrol, it will probably get a Python repaint at some point, or that might just be sort of like a one-off-ish sort of vibe. But because we already have Python Patrol, you know, we already have Python Patrol figures, and one of the things that Brian mentioned was they weren't going to do things that already sort of existed. So it's very likely that it won't necessarily be like a lot of Python Patrol figures, other than the ones that Super 7 did in Reaction that were new to the Python Patrol and Tiger Force, but like new to the Python Patrol, like Destro, Baroness, and those particular characters. So they might show up as exclusives with Target, because they'll be like repaints basically. Yeah, it does suck if you don't have Target stores near you, or if you don't live in the USA. That is another good point. Yeah, it does make it a little bit tougher. And exclusives always have done. It's always been the way, hasn't it, for exclusives? Costin. Costin Churi. I don't know how to say that. Costin Churiano. I'm butchering his surname. I've never seen that name before, so I'm saying it terribly, and I apologize to Costin, who does all the art and the videos for the Knock'em Dread and the Cold Slither and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, shout out to Costin. I'll just say Costin C. I'll say Paul, so I don't keep absolutely mutilating his surname. DJ Mr. McFly says they should with the Mothership. They should release the Mothership again, since last time it was up against the Dragonfly and the Cat Slayer. Yeah, I agree. I think give it a bit more space in the in the kind of collecting ecosystem for sure. Chucky says it's also weird to make an army builder the exclusive. We're still talking about the Bat here, by the way, for anyone's confused as to why Zartan's on screen. Toy Kind of Mood, hello, how are you doing? The full force on almost 9 p.m. EST, isn't it past your bedtime? Yes, it is, Travis, and I am slipping away a little bit. I'm so tired right now. I should be in bed in minutes after this episode. JDM says Crystal Ball ships August 1st in Canada, if that helps your timeline. Thank you, JDM. Everything helps my timeline. Yeah, so I think if, like, just to come back quickly to the Python Patrol as exclusive sort of chat, they're only going to do the newish Python Patrol ones that they have sort of added. That's what I think we'll probably see in the O-Ring. And yeah, we'll probably get like a Python Baroness and a Python Destro, but they'll be spread out. They won't be like all at once. You certainly aren't going to get them all at once like that. Is this episode all a dream? Yes, it is. Yo, got with the flu after WrestleMania in Vegas, just restarting, my man. That sucks, Travis. I hope you had a good time still at WrestleMania. Did you compete, or did you just watch? um, yeah, I mean, it's part and parcel of collecting at the end of the day. Cobra, Emperor 6, GI Joe over in Collector Delta 17. There's always going to be one or two that are slightly more difficult or than the large majority. I mean, it's been the case. It's every toy line that's ever been, almost ever, from a collector standpoint anyway. I had a match against Sarge Travis. That would have been amazing. Who would have won? Would you win in a match against the Sarge, or would the Sarge win? And I'm talking about Sarge now, not Sarge Prime, but Sarge now. Although he's probably in a decent shape right now, actually. But yeah, anyway, there is Knock'em Dread. You can go check out the full video. Link in the description, of course, on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel, and all the socials and all that jazz. Yeah, so that is Knock'em Dread by Cold Slither. More, I would imagine, to come for that, and can't wait to listen to the whole album. Actually, talking about the actual song as a piece of music, I actually quite enjoyed it. I quite like this idea of them doing like a whole album as Cold Slither. I'm quite interested to see what else comes out of it. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, I'm here for more and more videos from Costin C as well. Right then, that is that. Next up then, and final news story of the day, or the week, I should say. And we are getting into classified news. Yes, Old School Toys on YouTube has posted an in-hand review of the G.I. Joe Classified Retro B.A.T already. I mean, it happens, doesn't it? We've seen lots of figures sort of get their debuts to our eyes in hand through a lot of reviewers. So, yeah, no Ultimates news, unfortunately, Chucky. Shelf says, just finished watching Resolute to find my favorite Joe stream. Oh, thank you, Shelf Presents. I hope you mean me. I hope you mean the channel. But anyway, yes, Retro Bat review, Old School Toys on YouTube. You can check out the full review, obviously, link in the description on their YouTube channel, of course. But I just wanted to kind of like take a few pictures of, like screenshots of what Old School Toys showed off on their review, and just kind of talk through some of the details, basically. But for sure, absolute certain, go check out their review on their YouTube channel, please, and thank you very much. So here is the Retro Bat. So here we see it kind of like very much, and there is a comparison shot, but it's only the chest pieces. We don't see the full comparison shots, or at least I missed that when I was looking at the review. But we can see here that the that kind of sunbow yellow circular tampo is just literally put over whatever is going on the shoulder there. It's a shame really that there isn't like and obviously this would have been more to tool, because obviously there isn't something there at the moment, but to have like a little raised kind of section for that to sit on would have been nice. But again, still looks kind of nice, has that nice kind of pop to it, and certainly has that sunbow vibe with these brighter colors. And it certainly does have bright colors going on all over the place. We even have a shot here of it with the flame blast effect in his flamethrower. Looks pretty good, actually. That actually looks really good, that blast effect. So yeah, dope. Not really much else to say there, but there you go. Do you think we will get a classified comic bat? I would love that, Chucky. I would love that. You mean the bluish, the kind of, yeah, I say blue one. It's blue now because it's sort of been co-opted by Super 7 in that sense. And yeah, it was blue in the comic as well, but I think it was more to hide, it's basically that whole technique where they, rather than do all black because it'll just disappear or you don't get to see all the details, they did it in blue to kind of make it sort of look like it's like comic black, isn't it, basically? So yeah, I would say I would love to see like a different head sculpt, all blue deco, for the most part. And yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be dope. And then throw that rifle in that you know that Super 7 were doing with their ultimates, for sure. Sorry, I'm confused about that comment. Yeah, sorry, Kobe, you're saying the Python Patrol figures are the main line. No, I know they are. No, I'm saying Super 7, when they do Python Patrol figures, won't be doing the ones that we've already had. They'll be doing the ones that they've done in reaction, like Baroness, Destro, etc., etc. And they will be like redecos of those figures that already they have in the line, if that makes sense. In fact, the only Destro we might get is a Python Patrol one. The more I think about it, unless they do some sort of like more comic accurate O-ring Destro, which is possible. It's kind of possible, I think, in that sense. We're not going to get a Python Patrol Televiper, and we're not going to get a Python Patrol Crimson Guard or a Copperhead. We won't get those with Super 7 because they already exist in the line. They're only doing things that are like different. So yeah, that will be. It would be weird on that one. Chucky. Oh yeah, that's true. I only get mad as heck when people call me that. Yeah. Yeah. So this particular. Yeah. So anyway, the retro bat. Coming back to the retro classified bat. Looking really cool with those blast effects. Here it is with the claw. Personally, I have the claw the other way around. I don't know about you guys, and I'm not calling out old school toys for having it the wrong way around at all. They put it wherever they want. But what way round did you guys have the claw with the bat holding it? So if you imagine, what would the top of the claw be and what would the bottom of the claw be? For me, it's that circular bit at the top and the kind of more like flatter part at the bottom. That's what I kind of used to do. So it'd sort of be like that way up. But that kind of looks cool. And I don't think it matters necessarily because I think a lot of people are going to say like it's just sideways, mate. But the sawtooth, yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. The sawtooth I would have on the top for me, personally. But again, I'm only interested because when I see people do things other ways, it makes me go, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if there's a reason why I did that in the first place, or why I did that in the first place. Like speaking to Pat the last week about Cobra Commander and the battle armor one specifically, and how he would have the backpack, and how I would also have the backpack the same way up because of the card art showing like what looked like the bottom, not the bottom, but the spiky bits of the backpack sticking over his shoulders. So, and then some people said that they used it as a jetpack, so they would turn it the other way, so it would kind of like be doing that rather than that. So it's always interesting to me when I see someone do something slightly different with an accessory or like a piece like this. And this could just be a posing maneuver. When you move his arm back down, maybe it is up the other way around. But I don't know, kind of interesting that. And then of course we have all the extra bits in the backpack, and we know this. With this is no different than any other bat we've had, pretty much, except for the fact that we've got those different deco elements on the on two of the parts. What I will say is I think purple is an odd choice for the laser. I really do, especially considering it is a blue laser blast effect, right? Or have I gone mad? No, I haven't. It's a blue laser blast effect. So why did they do it purple and not the same color as the laser blast they gave it? It kind of really does look weird. There must be a reason for that. Obviously the kind of orange glow on the flamethrower makes a lot of sense. Just warmed it up and it matches with the blast effect. Totally cool. But the fact that the laser attachment has a purple color to it, yet it's a blue laser. I don't know. Purple laser is red laser's cousin. That's true, Chucky. Probably right way because they can swing at the Joes with the teeth, says Bryce. Yes, indeed, exactly. They can outswing it, can't they? Or like I suppose it doesn't really matter in that sense, but you'd want to hit them like that, wouldn't you, with the sword blade bit? So yeah, maybe that is the right way that guy had it. Interesting. Oh, is it a Decepticon laser, do you think? Maybe purple burn marks? Yeah, I guess, like, it's just that's the color that it's left after being blue. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it would have made a little bit more sense if it had been a bit more blue. But maybe you're right. Maybe it is a bit like sort of art. It's been used a lot, and that's the color it's changed over time. I bet I'll speak to Lenny about this, right, on a next interview, and I bet he says something like, "Well, I did some research and I found out that when lasers are used, they leave a purple burn mark or something." And like it'll be like, "Oh, okay, so that's why." Cobra Ninja says maybe it shoots grape soda. Amazing. Could you imagine? Energon's a good shout, Paul. Absolutely. Absolutely. It probably is. It probably is. Yeah. I definitely agree with your sentiment, Cobra Emperor 6, regarding the toys and everything. It's difficult being outside the USA. And I dealt with that myself for many, many years. Having to like travel to Joe Cons to do stuff, like it was expensive. But yeah, like the it does suck when there's an exclusive. And usually what Hasbro have done is they've kind of circumvented that in certain other areas by making the exclusives available on Pulse. But there's a lot of companies that, yeah, they have that exclusivity in one country basically, and they can't, that's it really. It sucks, definitely sucks. And I feel your pain. I really do. But Energon's a good shout, Paul, regarding the purple hue on the laser. That is a very good shout. Looks like there's a bit of a wash on the claw and maybe the arms. Yes, Paul, it does look like that. We'll have a nice close up of the Terminator arm in a second. Here is the blue laser, which actually attaches to the pistol as well as the purple laser attachment. I think a purple soda blast effect is definitely what we need now, Chucky, for sure. And here's a close-up of now when I see a close-up of this, it does kind of make me kind of go, I sort of wish there was more detail on the BAT internal section. I wish it sort of was a little bit more like, almost like parts that are tooled and then put on to give it that depth and like almost like make it look a bit more realistic. When it's just like a flat sculpt like this and just painted on top of especially when you're only using like you only use like 3 deco hits here, well 4 with the gray, but maybe that's the plastic color. But like those deco hits, it's just like a bit random. And also, like, is that something they've looked at on the cartoon and picked up on colors wise? I'll have to have a look at the cartoon in way more detail to see what they've done. But usually, doesn't the cartoon usually sort of like simplify it a lot? Anyway, we've got a few more colors here, but it doesn't. Again, I think seeing it so close up is a little bit jarring. When I look at the bats that I have, it's hard to see because they're miles away. But we're miles away. They're just further away in the room than my eyes can really see. But I'm gonna have to have a good close-up look at my bats to see how those decos are applied. Could be a budget thing for sure. Here, and again, when you get back a little bit and you put the clear, plate on there, it kind of looks cool still. But yeah, I think I just prefer it to be a little bit more depthy, to have like parts in there that were like tooled and then glued on and painted separately and glued on to give it that more depth. But that's what I'd like to see on a bat, like a premium bat going forward, and the damaged head looks really cool here as well, kind of with that exposed eye. Very Terminator. There's a lot of Terminator elements in this. Like this, we've seen Arnie do this a lot of the time, haven't we? This particular kick. Fun to see it in like a random position that I don't think. Well, I could see it in this position if it's been punched in the face for sure. And here's a close up of the head, that very red faceplate, which is very Sunbow. And on one hand, I'm glad that we're getting a specifically Sunbow colored bat. On the other hand, it's not the most exciting release for me. Like, You know, neither was the retro eel, but I was excited to be able to get a few more to make, you know, to army build. So at least in this way, it's going to be that option, isn't it, to have even more bats. And more bats is always a fun, cool, and amazing thing, especially if you've got lots and lots of them. Do you guys have a lot of bats? Let me know. I think I have. Well, I had a few because I used to get these really cool promo boxes from Hasbro back in the day, back in like 2020, 2021, 2022, when they were doing promo boxes. And they would, I've got like a Python bat in one of them, I've got a regular bat in another one of them. Obviously, I bought a couple of bats at the time. So I've got quite a few bats. The only ones I don't have lots of, Arctic. I've got one Arctic bat. I've got one, maybe two Crimson bats. Two Crimson bats, I think. But yeah, and actually no, I've only got one Crimson bat. But yeah, I started to kind of like, you know, not do that as much army building wise. But how many do you guys get when it comes to bats? I love this bat, says Lego Star Wars Kid. Paisano says I need more bats. Cobra Emperor 6 says I hope Super 7 makes Terminator 3 3/4 figures O-ring. That would be amazing. Yeah, because they got Back to the Future, which looked great, by the way. Yeah, I think the a Terminator line would be so good. Chucky says I feel a little bad about how many Arctic bats I have. How many Arctic bats do you have, Chucky? You son of a. Bias says, would love to know who the third one in the wave would have been, since it's two troop builders in the same wave. Yeah, all we know, Bias, is that that listing now is inactive. So it's not being utilized anymore, that listing. I've written cancelled, I think, on the listings thing that I do. But effectively, it's an inactive listing now. But yeah, I would like to know too, genuinely. I don't know what it is, don't know what it was, don't know what it was changed from, have no clue. Lego Star Wars Kid has 16 of the first bat. My God. Marneus has 8 of each bat they released so far. That's consistent. I like it. Matt says I have between 3 and 6 of each type except Python Patrol. Oh, Python Patrol. I've got a few Python Patrol because I got one in one of these boxes, which was very nice and appreciated. 3 Arctic, 6 Crimson, 6 Original, 4 Iron Grenadiers. I forgot about Iron Grenadiers. I have 2 Iron Grenadiers bats. Thank you, Matt. I ordered 13 bats and I can still order some more, says Cobra Emperor 6. Man, that's a bat fan right there. I only have 3 bats, 1 normal, 2 Iron Grenadiers, says Childish Landino, but you still have multiple bats. Dang, I only have 2 bats, says Paisano. I think I have a total of 11 bats, 3 are Arctic, says Jamie Lynn. Nice. Brian has 6 regular, 2 Python Patrol, 3 Crimson, and 2 Arctic. I like that. I'll get at least 7 Sunbow retros. How many are you getting, guys, of these? That's a good shout, actually. Gary, hello, Gary. How you doing, bud? One of my favorite figures. To save money, they could have done a new lenticular sticker under that chest plate. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. Bryce says, I've got so many, I forget and open a random box and find more. Probably have around 40. Okay, you have a problem, Bryce. I'm just kidding, mate. That's amazing. Cobra Ninja 109 says, I never saw any Arctic bats. I mean, did anyone see them? I only got mine because it was a pulse delivery. I never saw any anywhere. Jason says, I have 4, 2 of the first release and 2 IG bats. I wanted more IG bats, but was obvious from that release that the mold is wearing out. Interesting. I haven't really noticed that. I'm gonna have to have a play with those now, Jason, just to see what you're getting at. Brian says 3 IG. Paisano, and I'm broke. I can only imagine how broke the rest of you are. I know, same. Just one of these, as have 12 regular, 3 Python, 3 Crimson, 1 Arctic, and 6 IG, says Jeremy. My goodness. 2 of each, says Joshua. Now that is more, you know, that's more controlled, Joshua. I like that. Jim, on the other hand, has 24 regular, 12 Python, 12 Crimson, 4 Arctic, and 2 Iron Grenadier. Jim, oh my goodness. I'm not going to read everyone's out. No, I am. 11 Reg, 11 Python, 2 Arctic, 9 Crimson, the Beyonder. Amazing. I'm getting 2 retros, says Paisano. 4 IG, says the Beyonder. 40, I know, that's crazy. Comic Book Bin says, I don't need any bats, I have more than enough. It sounds like everyone has more than enough. Jamie Lynn has corrected his previous count. 13. He has 4 original, 3 Arctic, and 2 of each other version. My goodness, guys, that's crazy. Crimson Bat had something weird with how they were made. IG was better. The mold isn't wearing out. It was the manufacturing process. I have to agree on that one, I think, because one thing I will say is I think my Crimson Bat definitely has weird issues compared to any of the other ones I have. So the first one is kind of perfect, honestly. The Python one, no issues with that at all. Then when the Crimson one came out, completely like loose waist, like you wibble it and the legs and the weight just wibbles like really easily. So it kind of almost does that, like, you know, like it kind of like when you what position you pose it in, it sort of tips over a little bit on the top. Really weird, really weird. So yeah, that's a good point, Matt. And I think that might be there might be something in that, because my IG bats, I don't think I've had any issues with them. Crazy. Oh, Jason says, compare the IG bats to the first release and the difference is quite obvious. The shoulders are kind of popping off and none of the hands attachments fit as tightly. I will say that I've always had issues with the chainsaw since that's been a thing. That doesn't seem to like lock into my backpack very well at all. That's really loose, the chainsaw attachment. So that's always on the Arctic Bat, like it's always on him, because it just falls out of his backpack. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people have a lot of issues with the Crimson Bat, but I don't, like I said, I don't really have any issues with the Iron Grenadier bats. I think they're really cool, actually. And the Arctic Bat was pretty solid, actually, as well. It was really just the Crimson Bat that has weird, kind of wobbly kind of connections and stuff. Not just the backpack, but the wrists. Interesting, Jason. Again, like I have definitely not had that issue with mine. But yeah, if other people have, it'll be interesting to know. Have we got more? I think we have. Yeah, there's a shot from the top showing that. We've also got another shot of the comparison. Here it is. So this is the original Cobra Bat compared to the retro Cobra Bat, the chest panels anyway. And I've got to say, I think the application of the deco is a little tighter on the first one, but I think the background green panel does a lot of is a lot more forgiving than that gray panel, which is shows up a lot more of the issues where the deco is landing on those elements. So it's the same elements, the same parts that are getting decoed, just different deco. Yeah, so nice one. And again, you can see very clearly the difference as well in that brightness. Even the black looks different, doesn't it? The black application of the color as well, like is it me, or does the black look, this is going to sound stupid, but it looks brighter on the retro Bat. It looks deeper. The one on the left looks like it's a maybe like a glossier application, and the one on the right looks like a deeper, depthier black. What is wrong with me? I don't know. But yeah, there's a difference. And here's a shot of the the back of the figure, and of course the holster and the pistol, which is weirdly a different, like that brown color. But then again, they are following the cues of the cartoon there, so that's why that's the case. Yeah, I think it was just all orange on the previous Bat, wasn't it? And then of course, side shot, back shot of with the backpack removed. Nice bit of detailing on that. And of course, the Terminator arm, as I like to call it. That is so Terminator. That's when Arnie cuts his skin off his arm, pulls it down, and just kind of does that. And everyone's just like throwing up around him, like, oh my God. I like the clear chest plates, but I still get J Armory versions with faction symbols and color translucent ones. Yeah. A cool assembly lab would be cool. Cobra Emperor 6, yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing. Like a droid factory. Yeah, I like that. That's a great shout. Terence Charles says, I pay a small fortune for vintage. Why doesn't Hasbro just re-release the Advantage figure line? What's the Advantage figure line? Such an over-the-top moment in T2, but it's kind of perfect at the same time, isn't it? But it's also really gross too, and I'm not surprised that some people threw up in that one. Anyway, that is everything for the retro bat. Speaking of listings, as I said before, that Ralph T listing at the bottom of the retro on the right hand side there, I have changed that to say cancelled. But yeah, it's more so inactive, and I should probably change it to inactive because cancelled just sounds so like, it sounds so how do I put it, like more aggressive or more serious than it actually is. It was probably just, just like a change here or there. That the figure, whoever it was going to be, has probably just been bumped along a little bit or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, final is what it sounds like, doesn't it, Marnes? Absolutely. Never to be seen again. But anyway, I will change that to inactive. I'll just put inactive. That's all I need to put. It makes more sense. No other changes from last time I spoke to you guys. Everything's pretty much as it was. Still got a little bit of red on there you got a little bit of red on you for 2025. Lego Star was good. I would have only pulled skin off the pinky. Yes, but if you did the pinky, they'd have just thought you had like a hand, or maybe just your finger was bionic. If you cut your whole arm off, it's like, oh, I see. Yeah, dudes, like it's more than just like, what he should have done was cut his face off and just been like, bleh. Terminator 2 I'm talking about. Anyway, so that is that. There you go. That's the listings. No changes. Don't know much about anything else. I will say, I do think El Cid is the MMS with what's his name? Hawk, Colonel Hawk. I'm so tired right now, guys. I think Colonel Hawk in the MMS is El Cid on that listings page, G1229, because it's a Fanmazon. So I'm expecting that to be the MMS with Colonel Hawk. Don't know for sure yet, but when I do, I'll just update the listings. And then, of course, the only other one that we know is in 2026 is the JQ Johnny 2 pack, which is Taurus and Red Dog, completing that Renegades double 2 pack scenario with Slaughter and Mercer, of course, the other two that have been name only revealed as well. No changes other than that for 2026. We did add, if you're late to the game, like a few weeks, we did add a few more retro listings, or those 3 retro listings to this 2026 page. So Dexter, Dee and Mandark will be retro figures in 2026. And there you go. Jason says, Chris, do you think we'll see the next wave in June, or might they wait until July and unveil them in San Diego? I don't know, Jason. Honestly, I'm really lost based on this particular line plan that we're looking at right now, because Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench. Well, Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, Sci-Fi, and Night Viper should have been Yojo June, right? And instead, we get Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, Battle Armor, Cobra Commander, and Major Blood for April, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm guessing something like a lot of things are probably happening here. It feels like they may have been in a position where the delays caused them to have to move some things around, and therefore they had to kind of rejig some things. And then they thought, well, let's drop this, and then we'll have this for this. And then, the line plan changed significantly. We'll obviously get stuff for Yojo June. There's going to be a live stream. I know that for a fact. There's going to be a Yojo June, so that's happening. What will be there? I don't know. Will it be Sci-Fi, Night Viper, and Moen Burns, or will they kind of save that for PulseCon? And will it be more likely that we'll get, I don't know, like say Quinn Deluxe, not Quinn the character, but the listing, Quinn Deluxe or Trent Pet, or the other legacy figure, or Chairface, whatever that may be, Kyle, possibly. You know, will we be getting other things in that place for pre-order? Slice and Dice, for example, Slaughter and Mercer, the Ore Striker, things that we know are coming. Will we get those for Yojo June instead? I don't know. I just genuinely at this point, not a clue. I feel like it's actually completely and utterly in the dark. And I think they are. I think Hasbro is as well. Genuinely, I think they're just waiting with bated breath to see what happens before moving along with any other things. But anyway, I just don't know is the answer, I'm afraid. And that would have been a lot quicker just me saying that, wouldn't it? Anyway, no more changes to 2026 either. Name only reveals are currently officially the Renegades, Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer, and Taurus and Red Dog. And of course, digital renders, we are down to these now. It's Ore Striker with Crankcase, MMS with Colonel Hawk, Retro Green Shirt, Slice and Dice, SDCC Cold Slither, and Retro Bat. Right, that's everything. Let's get on to shout-outs, and we'll bring this one to a close. Yes, so in obviously in lieu of not having Pat on the show at this particular moment, I will shout out Pat and Phil of Articulated Points fame, and make sure you go and check them out. Go and subscribe to the channel. Go watch that wonderful O-ring video that Pat's done very recently for Articulated Points. Kind of gets into the weeds a little bit, but not too much. Like it's not like it's only like I think 12 minutes. I think the video. So go check that one out. It's a beauty. And any information you wanted on the history of O-ring, Pat sums it up very nicely in that video for you. Okay then. So shout out to Phil and Pat, and hopefully Pat will be back on the next one. There is one who's going to miss out on. It might be next week, but we'll talk about that, and I'll let you. Well, you'll find out next weekend, won't you? Also, shout out to Brian Sauer. Massive shout out to Brian. Does all our graphics. We are looking at doing a really cool rebrand in June, so I'm really excited for that. We've also got some really cool news coming as well. We've got some sponsorship for the channel, which is pretty awesome, which we'll reveal a bit more news about next week. Well, all the news will be revealed about it next week, technically, on the weekly. But yeah, in the meantime, know that we've secured a little bit of cool sponsorship, which I'm very excited about. And I can't wait to get that rolling. And like I said, in June, we'll be rebranding. So there's going to be lots of cool new graphics. There's going to be cool new, just all sorts of cool new stuff, which we're going to be doing. And yeah, getting out there for you guys. If we don't have technical issues that scupper the entire friggin', I don't know, rest of the day. But anyway, shout out to Brian, and of course, related to Brian Sauer, the awesome Assembly Required in-person convention, of course, in Des Moines, Iowa. We have another little update. So, of course, as well as the hotel block being available now, you can go on codenameiowa.com and go check that out. Go check all their socials out as well to find out all the information for the Hilton downtown Des Moines, and you can get your room reserved at the discounted price as well, which is really cool. So go check that out now if you want to go and do Assembly Required this year, which is on the 14th and 15th of November. It is called Assault on Cobra Island. Fans in Command is the new update that we've got this time. So as we prepare for Assembly Required 2025, we're asking you to help us select the strike team that will lead the assault on Cobra Island. Each week, a new target location will be revealed. Then on June 2nd, our Fans in Command poll will go live. You'll have until the end of Yojo June to vote for the 6 recruits you think are best equipped to accomplish this dangerous mission. Brilliant. So more information to come on that, of course, but a bit of fun fan interaction for all you guys who are interested in this. Let's also shout out their Operation Armor situation as well. So this is the online version of AR, and the update for this one hasn't changed. More information to come, including pre-order for the gear kits, which are amazing, by the way, and show dates very much coming soon. So we'll keep an eye on those. No change there, but just kind of keep your mind on that one. Also, massive shout out to Carson at 3D Joe's. He has launched another Kickstarter, and this one is for pocket-sized field guides for G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero. These little things look amazing. One for loose figures, one for file cards, and one for card backs. It looks awesome. I don't think I put the link in the description. My bad. It's on the page. It's on our socials, our Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So go check out our Facebook page. Go check out obviously the Kickstarter and get pledging and support Carson for all the amazing work he does. How cute are these? 3 volumes, little field guides, amazing. So just a bit more information. It says each pocket-sized field guide measures 4 by 5 inches and features 500 pages of content. Yow. They're small enough to take hunting with you at conventions, flea markets, estate sales, and yard sales, while still showing all life-size figures and accessories and crystal clear photos with enough detail for you to make an educated purchase. How amazing is that? Amazing stuff. Sorry, I've missed a few comments. A few of you have got some questions. I think we'll at least get the last wave renders at Yojo June. Yes, Bias, absolutely. Can't wait for the Renegade, says Lego Star Wars Kid. Agreed. Did I happen to cover the 3D Joe's Field Guide Kickstarter at all? That's a cool little book for us collectors. No, he didn't, says Matt. Yes, I did. Yes, I bloody did. I've done it here. Yeah, shout out to Carson, of course. You know, big promoter of Carson and the amazing work he does at 3D Joe's. I literally live next to his book, mainly because I can't lift it anymore to put it anywhere else. But this omnibus hardcover is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And all the work he does on the site. And these little field guide books are adorable and just look so much fun. So, yeah, really excited about that one. Big time. What if I want to defend Cobra Island, says Chris G. Tough. Jason says, I'm curious about the interview as well, but I assume Chris will announce something when he's got more concrete info about it. Interview with Lenny and... Are you talking about the Lenny interview? Or are you talking about an interview with Carson? I'm confused here. I'm so confused. I'm so confused what you're asking. Oh, when will the next Lenny interview be happening? Lenny and Tony's interview is in May, probably around mid-May. So about a month or so away. Yeah, it just got pushed back basically. You know how it is. I think there's an element within, I think this is an aspect where Hasbro are just kind of putting like a sort of like, not freeze, but they're just cooling their jets at the moment. I think there's an element here of just like a holding pattern, shall we say. And I think they just don't want, they want everything, all the focus being in, what's going next, what's happening next. So with that said, yeah, I was informed that we'll be pushing it a little bit, which is fine. It's all good. What will probably end up happening, I want to aim to get this interview done because I don't want to because in the past we've missed opportunities and we just haven't talked about certain figures and stuff like that. And I really want to. I want to get into the nitty gritty of every single thing they ever reveal and release. So I definitely want this to happen on May because I want to talk about Cobra Commander. I want to talk about Monkey Wrench. I want to talk about Snake Eyes. I want to talk about all those figures and all the extra little bits and details we have now that the figures are kind of at pre-order stage with promo images and things like that. And I want to get into the weeds with them on those. So I definitely want to do that before Yojo June. And then, of course, following Yojo June. And usually what I do is I wait till after Yojo June and after SDCC, and then we do another one. And then we do another one at the end of the year, which kind of follows PulseCon and anything else like 1027 and stuff like that. So that's my plan with Lenny and Tony and the Hasbro team. Marneus28 has gone in full straight away with these field guides. Good. Cobra Emperor 6. Do I have any idea what is coming in Wave 4 for Super 7? Maybe Brian Flynn will give you some clues. It'd be great if he did. I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. We all usually find out when that listings are leaked by BBTS usually. I could imagine that'll be the only way we find out. Honestly, that'll be the way we find out. That's the way we found out in the past, actually. They get leaked courtesy of BBTS. When they put them up for pre-order, the listings go up there and people are like, oh, okay, here they are. Just because of the tariffs, Hasbro might wait. Yes, that's 100%, I think, what's going on here. Zorana for Cold Slither Super 7. That would be dope. That would be dope. I came in late. Did we talk about Higher Bazooka? We talked about Higher Bazooka last week, Chucky. So you're a week late for Higher Bazooka. You can go check out last week's weekly for Pat and I's conversation on Higher Bazooka. But didn't talk about him today, no. Right, so massive shout out to Carson. Go check out the Kickstarter right this second. We posted it on our Facebook, or we reshared it on our Facebook. I think today. Go check that out. Also, massive shout out to Brian Hickey and Total Toy Books. Their Red 5 all-in. They unlocked all the items basically. They got that slipcase unlocked in the back of kit. So well done, awesome stuff. It's like after the fact. You know, you could do like an after the fact thing where you could keep the pledges coming in, and that's what they did, and they unlocked the slipcase. So a massively big shout to Brian, Total Toy Books, for their huge success on yet another successful Kickstarter. Well done, guys, again. Well done, Brian and Paddy as well. Amazing stuff. And that's all you get with the Red 5 all-in pledge, which is what I think I went on. I think I did that one. Sweet. So yeah, that's that. So shout out to Brian and Total Toy Books. Also massive shout out to SKELETRON. You can get the RoboSkull Mark II right this second at skeletron.com. Go nuts. The toy of the year for 2024, in my opinion, and lots of other people's opinions, to be honest. And also, they did post this, that they will be at IshCon, May 16th to the 18th, North Carolina, Durham Convention Center. And the first 100 attendees, Saturday and Sunday, get entered to win a RoboSkull Mark II special edition. So the special editions are amazing. And the funny thing is, I ended up unboxing a special edition on this show. And I had both. And I was going to display the regular, but I got the special edition now, and there's something about that deco, there's something about that yellow on it. Oh, I think it gives me the Palatoy vibes, honestly, and I think that's what it was, and it's just beautiful. But anyway, shout out to Ben and Mark and all the guys at SKELETRON, and go check out IshCon, North Carolina, Durham Convention Center, May 16th to the 18th. First 100 attendees, Saturday and Sunday, enter to win RoboSkull Mark II SE. Okay. Yeah. And then also, I want to shout out the wonderful people at G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. I got to speak to Mark, Artuan, and Michael. Really awesome. Had a great time. We talked about, like, basically I was on as like a, it's like a 3D printing 101 where I'd ask them questions, not really having a lot of knowledge about the process. And they could kind of like treat it as sort of like a Q&A sort of thing. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time with them, had a good laugh. Ended up talking about the selfie series a lot, which was quite funny. But yeah, you could go check that out on their YouTube channel. Go check out G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast with special guests, just me. But yeah, go check that out. It was fun. And yeah, so again, massive shout out to Mark, Artuan, and Michael. It was lovely to chat with you guys, and go check out their amazing 3D Printing Podcast YouTube channel. Thank you. As well as that, I actually put this in here because I was going to talk to Pat about it. The Transformers Compendium set has hit 3 mil, has gone beyond that actually. Quite impressive. Still got about 9 or 10 days left. I think it could probably break the record that they have with the Joe Compendium, like 4 something million. So yeah, I think it's probably going to get there. But massive congrats and shout out to Skybound again for doing amazing things. And this is one of those compendiums I'm looking at. I'm going, oh God, this is so tempting, especially with the UK aspect in there, and the crossover as well with Action Force. I mean, there's just so much awesome, fun stuff to like think about here. I don't know, but anyway, I wanted to talk to Pat about it. So that's all I wanted to mention, really. Just how amazing that's done, and maybe Pat and I will talk about it next week when it's done, or when it's nearly done. Yeah, because it's going to be 7 days from now. Anyway, that's that. Also, Kickley Corner we're in now. His gallery completed his 20 characters for like the set of G.I. Joe and Cobra characters from that kind of OG-13 early vibe. It's not OG-13, but the first couple of years basically. And it was Colonel Hawk got the last one to be completed. Of course, he joins Stalker, Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Flash, Zap, Breaker, and Grunt, Grand Slam, Short Fuse, Steeler, Clutch, and then of course Storm Shadow, Zartan, Blood, Cobra Trooper, Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness, and the Cobra Trooper. Amazing stuff, incredible set, and massive shout out to Kickley, who's done amazing work on that. I look forward to more of your work, Kickley, as I always do, and we'll definitely show it on here. That's it for the Full Force Weekly this week. My apologies for the absolute farce that today has become, and sorry for the really late episode. I will be doing a Patreon Q&A tomorrow, so I'll see my Red Shadow Army and SAS patrons for that, probably around about 3 p.m. ish. I'm also doing cool stuff I'm doing another little recording tomorrow, which I won't say anything about just now. Wait for that to actually come out, and then I'll promote it and show you. But I'm doing a little thing with somebody else, which will be fun. And that's with another channel. And then what else? I think that's pretty much it. Anything this week will be that's newsburst worthy. I'll see you for that. And in the meantime, guys, stay fresh cheese bags. And you know what to do after 3. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See you later. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.